Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Azure Every Day with Pragmatic Works. I'm Chris Sefurlis. I'm a senior principal consultant over here at Pragmatic Works, and today I'm going to talk about Azure File Sync. And I'm going to start this with a question, okay? Who is still using a file server? I'm going to answer it too, because most of us still are, okay? And I would say the vast majority still need to for various reasons, right? We love them, but we also hate them because they are a real pain to manage. What are some of your pains with Windows File Server, right? One, they never seem to have enough storage. Two, they never seem to be properly cleaned up. Users don't delete the files they're supposed to. We send out these emails saying you have to clean up your temporary files, etc. And three, the data never seems accessible when or where you need it, right? So now let's talk about Azure File Sync. Let's say we're setting up a file server in our Seattle headquarters, and that file server starts to have problems, right? What are we going to do? I'm starting to run out of space, the drive's having problems, whatever, right? I'm going to hook this up with a file share in Azure space. I'm going to set up cloud tiering so that everything, say I hit 50% of my threshold on that drive space, everything beyond that 50% threshold, we want to start moving files up into Azure, okay? When we set that threshold of 50%, what it's going to do is it's going to start taking the oldest files and graying them out as far as the users are concerned, okay? The files are still there. It still looks like it to the users, but they've been pushed off to the cloud, so they've freed up that space on the file server. And if they ever need them, they can click on them and re-download them. Now, let's say I want to bring up another server at a branch office, okay? Very simply, I can bring up that server, synchronize it with my branch office in New York based on those files in Azure. I can hook up my SMB and NFS shares for my users and applications. I can set up my work folders using the multi-site sync technology and have all of my files synchronize. And it's going to give me direct cloud access to these files, right? So I can hook up my IaaS and my PaaS solutions with my REST API or using SMB shares to be able to access those files. So moving along nicely, everything is synchronized. And what I'm also enabled to do is have a rapid file share server, data recovery or disaster recovery or whatever we want to call it, right? So my server in Seattle goes down. I simply remove it. All my files are already up in Azure, okay? Bring on a new server, synchronize it back to Azure, right? My folders start to populate, and as they get used, people will download those files back, and the rules that were set up will maintain. And the great part about this is it can also be used with Server 2012 R2 as well as Server 2016. So now I can have an integrated cloud backup as part of that file share within Azure by implementing the Azure Backup Vault. So from a backup standpoint, Azure Backup Vault gets backed up automatically. Storage is super cheap. So now I've got an all-encompassing solution for better availability, better DR capability, and essentially bottomless storage. So with Azure File Sync, I get a centralized file service in Azure Storage, cache in multiple locations for fast and local performance that synchronizes across the wire through Azure, and I can utilize cloud-based backup for a strong and fast DR. If you want to check out more, check out aka.ms/AFS or click on the link below and see how Pragmatic Works can help you with your adventures in Azure. Thanks a lot and have a great day.